Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Zalera, and this is a channel about cross stitch. I'm coming to you today with wet hair and very minimal makeup and some pain. I was humbled by a kitchen utensil. I will talk about that later in the video. I asked you guys last week about what would you think of me just like throwing in some stitches while I chat in clips and mixed reviews on which would be which. You got it anyway this week. It's about a 30-minute clip, and I will put timestamps in to skip it because if you are squeamish, you do not want to hear the story. No. So definitely skip the stitch with me if you are any kind of squeamish. I will not talk about what happened otherwise because, like I said, squeamish. I won't say I'm okay. I have a lot of Tylenol on board. Trust me, I would rather film to get my mind off of it than to sit here feeling it. First off, if you are just stumbling onto the channel, thank you so much for clicking on and taking a look around. If you like what you have to see, please consider subscribing and liking and commenting and all the thingies. If you are coming back as a subscriber already, thank you for joining me in this journey. And yeah, I want to apologize for last week's video. Apparently I should not film with no sleep because it got a little crazy. It got a little confusing. There were some, I had to fix some errors, and, let's see, there was, not only did I missed a square that I should have done, I actually oopsed and did not write a property down that got purchased in Monopoly. So I added that on in my stitching. This one, number 10. Surprise! Yeah. Don't stress it if that was your token. What is that, water? Yeah, that was water that I screwed up. If you're playing water, don't stress it. That's my fault. I hope to get better, but I can't promise it. This is how many stitches I got in. I only got one temperature in last night. Stitching definitely slowed down a bit with this. But I did get over the stitches for a lot of them. I just usually finish off a thread, go wherever it takes me. So you'll have those to look forward to in my clips. I will chatter about it a little bit as you see these clips. I did pre-record Monopoly, which I'm actually glad I did do. I pre-recorded around last week because my little one is off school today because it is so cold here. I think we were 6 degrees Fahrenheit off the South Pole today, early, like negative, I want to say it was -6 Fahrenheit. I don't know what that is in Celsius. I forgot to look. But yeah, it's very cold. I don't know if he's going to have a delay tomorrow. It's going to be warmer, but it's going to start off still really, really chilly. And my husband's off most of the week this week, so they're out there doing their thing, and he's working, so I didn't really have the table to film today. So yeah, serendipitous at that. I do want to thank, I got a couple of mentions over this past week that I want to say thank you for, specifically Pickwick Turtle, which I really like their video, the videos that I went and checked out. They also do kind of a vlog style, recording that I enjoyed watching, and nice variety of projects and very relaxing voice, which I'm big on the voices, so. And then I know Jen had mentioned like my board and stuff, so we mention each other all the time, but it's still nice to say thank you when that happens. If I missed anybody, I do apologize. Like I said, this week, this happened on Sunday, so yeah, it is what it is. I also am so super proud. So I have a, I don't want to call her a non-stitchy friend, but a friend through camping that I introduced to cross stitch, I don't know, a couple years ago now, maybe 1 or 2 years ago. And, you know, she, typical start, you know, just real kind of slow into it. But I am so stinking proud of her. She finished this project and got more, and she sucked in, and I love it. I told her, I said, if there's any, like, there's tons of tutorials out there as far as how to do stuff, and I'm not the best teacher. But I told her, I was like, if you have anything, like, questions and you want me to show you something on a video, I'll just make a video series and call it, what do I call it? Demos for Danny. So yeah, I'm super, hi Danny. I'm super excited for her. Just to, anyway, yeah. I think that's really introduction wise that I have to say today. We'll get into the whips 6.5 minutes in. So please enjoy the following clips, and then I will insert the Monopoly round and show you what we're working on next week. Okay, so first up is going to be Fairy Home. This is the one by Golden Kite. It is 120 by 127. It's so tiny. And let's see. Oh, and I did, this is the blended version, so it does have blends in it, which I completely forgot about. So I need to dig out my floss drops from that I made or had made that I can hold blends on. And I'm going to be stitching it on this 32 count fabric. It's making me laugh so much because it's so tiny. It's actually going to end up more of a square. I mean, it's only 7 stitches difference between this and this, but it measures 32 count this way and 30 this way. So it is not a true even weave, but that's okay. I stitched Merry Mushroom Village on a very similar fabric. I really don't think it was a true even weave either, but this will be a good judge of, you know, if it warps it. It's small. I mean, it's tiny, so maybe not a good judge. But yeah, it's calling for 140 stitches. This is probably going to go into tomorrow because I am exhausted. It's 9:30 at night, and I've been up since 6:30 this morning with 3 hours of sleep, so I'm tired. So yeah, we'll see. I'll see you after 140 stitches at least, sometime. Maybe today, maybe tomorrow. Probably not today, tomorrow. Y'all, if I can complain about wrenches in works, just gently remind me that I am the one that added chaos. It was my fault. As you can see, this is a different piece of fabric, and it has no stitching on it yet. It is the next day. I came downstairs this morning after getting sleep and looked at my fabric and looked at the pattern and looked at my fabric and remembered my comment about there being blends. And I am not going to try and stitch 32 count with blends because that equals 2 strands. And while I could make it work, I'm not going to. Because that would be a lot more work and hassle and frustration on my end. So I had a spare piece of 18 count fabric that I quickly gridded and put into an 11 by 11 Q-snap so it still fits, because I think I'm going to do some extreme cross country on this bad boy. Yeah. So with 18 count, it's going to be 2/1. It's going to be easily blended. So yeah, here we go. Not only are there blends in this piece, there are like 80 blends in this piece. What did I do to myself? I know why I picked it. I picked it because it's such a small piece that I figured the blends would actually make it look a little more blendy, like not as pixely. But good Lord, did I not think that through. So my solution was to work on the color 500.
which is not a blend. I got 207 stitches in, and I pulled, I think I pulled, I'm hoping I pulled enough of that particular shade of 500 because I have a couple of different dye lots to finish that color off in this piece. So that will be it for now. I gotta cut this fabric actually, or screw it, I might just leave it on there so that it fits in this Q-snap. So yeah, on to, I think the next one's an ornament. Okay, and I forgot to mention the previous project for Fairy Home. That's at, that 207 stitches is out of 15,240, so it's at 1.36% already. Next up is the Santa Bear ornament from 100 Cross Stitch Christmas Ornaments. He's only 32 by 31 stitches. Yeah, and he's supposed to get 200, I believe. Yes, 200. So we'll see how close to a finish that gets him, especially if I go over. I picked this pinky 14 count Ada out of my scrap stash to put him on. So we'll see what he looks like here in a minute. Okay, here we are, 254 stitches later. I honestly probably would have kept going, except that I ended up having to frog a bunch of the stupid white stitches. So I got annoyed with it. So as soon as I did color complete those two colors, but I was done once those were done. I did have a question on last week's video about how I, how did she word that? What I put my floss in, what I put my master set in. So I answered kind of, and I told her I'd show a video. Kind of two ways actually, because I do my working set on floss drops. The cardboard is for like dye lots that are different colors. So like this is 310, and then no, I'm sorry, this is 311. This is also 311, 316, also 316. So my goal is to use up the cards and throw them away as that happens. So, and I have a table that we didn't mind me like screwing stuff into. So I just got these mug hooks and they work really nicely. I was using, pardon the mess, I was using these command hooks to try and avoid the damage, but they don't hold up enough. Darren was actually mentioning they were trying to hang pictures up after moving with command hooks, and I was like, yeah, that didn't work out real well, did it? That was even after I had like cleaned with alcohol and I let it set for 24 hours. Like if my less than a pound of floss can like pull these off relatively quickly, I don't think I would trust it to hold pictures. Anyway, and then the other answer is that I have my backup thread. Anything extra, I do actually, I have 2 master sets because I don't want to run out of floss in between. Like if I run out of floss on these drops, I want to make sure I have one that I can grab to replace it immediately. So I have at least another full set. And I did that by just buying a ton of floss off of eBay, which is why I have a bajillion and one dye lots. Yes, there can be issues with using multiple dye lots in a pattern, especially if it's block coloring. But with full coverage especially, and with like really high confetti pieces, you can get away with it. Like Merry Mushroom Village has many multiple dye lots of the same thread color in that, and you can't tell. So, but I have that second set stored in fabric bins. Okay, I'm going to show you across here. My place is a mess. I'm a clutter bug. So, in those fabric bins under, like right there, there's a more that goes that way. And those are in floss away bags on rings. And I have the bins separated by, what's the word? consecutive order. So hopefully that answers that question. So I have to get some work done, and then I will be back to hopefully stitch some more tonight. It might be tomorrow. We'll see. Okay, next up is 300 stitches on this kit by Bernat called Tan Carousel Horse. It is stitched on 14 count, whatever this is, Ivory Ada. Mostly using 3 strands of floss over 1 box. My brain just decided to quit on me. So it is Thursday night. I will probably have to carry this over into tomorrow because it is getting kind of late. Yeah, I don't think there's much more to say on that one. Here we go. Okay, 380 stitches is what we ended up with. And this right here is missing a few stitches because I realized when I was putting this in that this was wrong. I was 1 stitch shy on this line, so I had to, luckily the thread ended here, so I just frogged it back and then stitched back what I could. But yeah, the saddle area here is completely done, and started in on the horse, which the title is Tan Carousel Horse, and this is more like a tawny carousel horse so far. So yeah, I enjoyed working on it, even though the frog still keeps dipping his toes into my projects. He needs to go back to the pond. Next up is Spirit Horse, but that will be later tonight if I get another chance to stitch. So, all right. Next up here is Spirit Horse. This is a China kit, but the artwork is by Pixie Cold. You can get her sanction kit on Gecko Rouge the last time I looked. I also went through excuse me, my the last project, Tan Carousel Horse, and tallied up all the crosses that I'd done. So right now I have 1071 stitches into that project. And this one I'm just using the kit materials, so it's on 14 count Ada. And this picture is actually hopefully a little more true to what it's going to look like, because the cover photo is like this sort of, it's almost like a greener hue. And you know, if you are familiar with what color palette I prefer, that's more true. And that's where, let me switch the light here a little bit. That's where we're going to start from. I have 815 stitches in here so far, and this one is slated to get 200. So I'm not sure if I will work ahead on this or not. I'm kind of thinking maybe I shouldn't, and just if I'm still not quite tired enough to go to bed, I'll move on to the next one. I don't know. We'll see what we come up with. So, all right. Well, I was watching Jen's new video, so I ended up just sticking with this and keeping rocking on. I was a little too tired to switch projects, so this one got 481 stitches. We are now at 1,296, give or take a few incorrect pokes on the tally counter. I kind of wanted to start getting the back stitching right here, but I'm missing just enough stitches in here that not yet, but I will be back stitching as I go, because there is quite a bit, and it's not complicated. Complicated, is that the word I want? I don't know. There's a whole lot of different colors of back stitching, and yeah. So this one is being stitched with just 2 strands, which is what the kit calls for. And is that all I want to say? I don't have a percentage because it is off a paper pattern. Yeah, I'm gonna head for bed, and tomorrow is Saturday, but I will be working. I need to get more work done than I have been getting done because I've been having a little too much fun stitching. So, all right. Okay, next up is Rosie's Dreamland. No, I just combined two of them. Ride to Dreamland. Rosie's Pride is a different one. Ride to Dreamland. This is from Stony Creek Collection, book 106, Magic Moments. And I had a bit of a panic moment because I started working here in the saddle. And it feels like it's big. And then I realized the way I had it oriented on the fabric, it had me worried that I actually didn't leave myself enough margin, but I counted it out and I'm good. So I am stitching this on this printed fabric from Sunny Dyes Fabrics. She's no longer in business, I don't think. But this colorway was Fairy's Daybreak. It's a 28 count casual linen. I'm stitching it 2/2. And there is a ton of sparkle. I wish this would show up on camera better, but see if I can get in there. Just a ton of blending filament in that saddle. It's gorgeous. It doesn't even do it justice there, even though you can kind of see the sparkle. So this is slated to get 200 stitches. I think that's all I need to say, right? Yeah. All right, I'll see you in a minute. Or a second. Or nanosecond. Okay, yeah, 207 stitches, and I am so done because it was all those blends with blending filament, which are beautiful, but a pain in the... and these are like really fiddly, like start, stop, start, stop. And I don't mind working with the Kreinik. It's starting the Kreinik that's just... ugh. So, yeah, calling it at 207. So have a total of 508 now in there. And I think the next one is another non-full coverage. I don't know. I may do a temperature. I'm not sure. I'm kind of missing my full coverages. There's a lot of non-fulls in this batch this week. So, yeah, we'll see what's next. So I decided to torture myself some more. I'm going from blending filament to rayon floss. So apparently I'm just feeling the urge to play with some thread magic today. So this is sampler 231. Well, yeah, I'm pretty sure it's 231. From 2x2 Stitch Art on Etsy. And yeah, I printed out the mock-up. I just took a screenshot. Sorry for my finger there. And I've got these kind of random rayon flosses. I've got like this color here. No, that's black. Hold on. This color I have several skeins of, so that'll be the main color. And then I'm just going to throw in whatever, wherever I feel like it and see how it turns out. But I printed this out so I have kind of a reference for, maybe throw in a whatever flower. I don't know. Well, I have no idea what I'm doing with this, really, when it comes down to it. I am going to be stitching it on this 46 count Fiber on a Whim in the color Brown Sugar. And I'm starting the center because I only have like 1.5 inches margin on 2 of the sides. I will be stitching this over 2, 23 count. I don't know if I want to do this 1/2 or 2/2. I don't know. Maybe I'll do a couple test stitches on an edge before I get going. And this one is slated for, oh my God, 400 stitches. We'll see how many I get done before I get sick of the rayon floss. So let's see how long this takes me. This is Saturday night. And my husband's birthday is tomorrow, so I'm going to be cooking dinner. I got to marinate the meat tonight before I go to bed. So I don't know how much stitching I will get done tomorrow. I don't know if I'm really going to get into temperature stitching at all this week, which is fine. Just not getting as many stitches as I was hoping to so far. So Anywho, without further ado, let's see what we get up to. Okay, that was a bit of a torture session. I just worked with metallics this time. I decided to do the middle flowers in this blue metallic. And I don't know if I can, how close I can get you. Where it'll focus still. You can see the sparkle a bit. I did not have a good time with the blue. I cut the threads too long, I think, to start with, so I cut them about 6 inches shorter for the green, and I enjoyed it a lot more at that point. I got 438 stitches in. It was actually closer to 538 because I stitched and frogged 50 stitches and then restitched them. So that was fun. But yeah, it's 438 out of 32,248 stitches, so I'm at 1.36%. So this is going to be a beast to stitch. It's slow going, and the metallics are, I won't say hard to work with, but they're finicky to work with. So I'm glad it's over with. Next up is Lightweaver. So I went ahead and got this out of the way so that I could look forward to stitching on Lightweaver. So yeah, that'll be Sunday's project if I get a chance to stitch tomorrow, which I probably will, but I'll see you then. Okay, so this is Lightweaver. This is the supersize max color, so 706 by 999. Lots and lots and lots of yellows. Artwork is by Raven Phelan. Chart is by Heaven and Earth Designs. I am stitching it 1/1 on 28 count. And that's my goal, is to get these all worked in, but we'll see how that works because I did it dumb. It's so dumb, but it hurts a lot. So let's see, I am at, let's see where we're at on this right now. So this has 12,300 stitches out of 705,294. It is at a whopping 1.74%. And I think it's supposed to get something like 270 stitches. We'll see how, if I can even get through that. So yeah. Okay, so I don't know if you'll be able to tell, but I did put 318 stitches in. This is gonna take several sessions, I think, to, it's so ugly, to get these tucked in. And it's a little harder than I thought it would be to work two-handed. Sorry for my fingers. With my pinky the way it is. Yeah, I'll tell that story at the very end, just in case anybody's squeamish. They can skip that part. But yeah, I'm now at 12,630 stitches out of 705,294 for 1.79% complete. This is one of my temperature stitches, so I'm just going to stick this in the bin with the other temperature stitches until he gets pulled again, which I was enjoying working on it, but my little finger's throbbing, so let's see, I did have to stitch this over last night and tonight, or today, so it is Monday. And I just have 2 more pieces to go before recording again on Wednesday. And it's looking like Floral Flamingo is going to get 500. We've got about 4.5 more hours before the final tally is in, but I don't think it's going to push. I don't think that 250 is going to push ahead of the 500. So, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and work on the next project and see where we get. Okay, so today is a stitching meetup. I don't know, honestly, if I'm really going to get any stitching done in this, but I'm going to take it with me and try. So this is a pattern from florstitch.com. They are on Etsy. I will link the shop below. This is one of the gnome series that I'm doing for my Christmas ornaments. Ouch! Ouch! I just bumped my finger. I'm doing that on this 18 count Lilac Ada from Witcholt, I believe is who that is. I'm going to be doing it 2/2 full cross as my other ones. Yeah, and this is obviously a new start, so yeah, I don't know, we'll see. Supposed to get 300, but I'll be happy with at this point, whatever progress I make on anything. Okay, see you in a minute. Yay, I managed 319 stitches, all of them 38.65, but they were close enough to each other that I was like, meh, let me just keep going with this. So yeah, 319 out of 2,427 plus backstitch. So that puts me at 13.14% on this piece. So he will go away for another day. Okay, up next, I'm going to go ahead and start Floral Flamingo. It is Monday evening. Voting's still open until midnight, obviously done by now. But it is looking really close to 500, and I'm stitching slow enough that it's probably going to be midnight before I get even anywhere close to that. This is a Kit by Dimensions Floral Flamingo. I'm just using all the kit stuff, so it's on 14 count Ada. I did do the dimensions, and it is 128 by 170. It's not full coverage, but the background greenery is stitched. And I went ahead and measured the fabric and figured out where my corner was for my upper left-hand corner start. So I'll be doing that. But I mean, there's my bunch of floss for the background, so I figured that's what I'll start with. I got all my holes punched in my card so I can put my extra floss on. Got that one a little close to the edge. And this one, because it's not a Dimensions Gold, it's just, ignore these other numbers. These are the 3 blends that's going to be on it, so not too bad as far as blending goes. I don't think there's any cording either, which is amazing because I hate cording. And I'm in enough pain and just kind of brain weary from that. I'm marking off on the original pattern. It's a kit. It's not like I'm really going to pass this on. So yeah, I'm not gonna simply because they're patterns. If you're familiar with them, you know they don't exactly have like easy to copy separated pages. You kind of have to piecemeal it together once you do copy it, and I did that for my other kit the other night, and I'm just not feeling it today. So yeah, I will was that all I wanted to say about it? I think so. I'll get started on it and see where I'm at and show you my progress here in a minute. Okay, here we are 538 stitches later. It is after midnight on well, now it's Tuesday morning. But thank you for everyone who voted for the free parking stitches. It did end up with 500 stitches being the baseline for free parking. So yeah, it's just half stitch, but I'm just a square is a stitch. That's how I'm counting it. I did stitch this in hand because right now it's easier, and I probably sound a little nasally because I went through a bandage change. I want to draw a face on them. I don't know what the percentage is. Obviously, it's not full coverage. But yeah, I am going to... What am I doing? My brain hurts because my finger hurts. So I think I have one more piece. Surprise piece. I think I may have talked about it. I hopefully talked about it already. That it should have been talked about in the last video that I completely missed. So I'm going to pull that one out next and work on it until it's time for me to take some Tylenol and go to bed. And I may tell the tale of Mr. Finger here. Anybody who's squeamish, once I start that segment, I will put a timestamp in so that you can skip it if you are squeamish, because it's a gruesome story. Okay, yeah, so let me get set up for the next project. Okay, so the free parking space is not this one. I don't remember even which base this ended up being, whichever one I ended up accidentally skipping. And so yeah, Blackwork Iris. This is out of Cross Stitch and Country Crafts magazine. Here, issue May, June of 1991. But I still think this is beautiful. I still want to try and conquer Blackwork, aka also it's not backstitching. Like when they talk about it here, like true Blackwork is more of a double running stitch. Most Blackwork is completed using the double running stitch, also known as the whole bean stitch. And I don't know that my brain can do that, to be honest, because you really have to plot out a path for the stitches in order to do that, and I don't know that I have that in me, even on a good day. All right, so let me find my pattern page. I'm just going to be working on the cross stitch right now. I've got the spot marked, so I'm going to start on the iris. We'll see how this goes, especially since I need to stitch in hand and my camera's in my face, and I want to make sure you guys can see okay. Will that work? Okay. I'm going to stitch this on, this is a 25 count khaki Lugana. The cross stitch calls for 3/2. And then whatever the specialty stitches call for, because there are other specialty stitches besides the black work in this. Yeah, so I'm going to start with cross stitch and see how this goes. Okay, so it's story time. I'm going to talk about this. If you are squeamish and you do not want to listen to the story of what happened here, I will put the timestamp on the screen here so that you can skip ahead to the finished product or whatnot of this piece. You don't have to listen to that. But for anybody who's interested in my PSA that I have to discuss, normally I work on my Lowry. I don't normally stitch in hand, but right now it's actually more comfortable to hold pieces than it is to try and stitch two-handed or stitch one-handed with my hand going. I am left-handed, so at least I have that much going for me. But that does not mean that I want to have my hand. I mean, I don't mind it. It's weird. I don't mind doing the stab and poke method like this, holding it. But I don't like doing it with the Lowry. Probably because of the way fabric. So I just anchor it with one on the back, and I leave my tail kind of long so that just in case it does not pull out, because I have had that happen before, where I don't have a long enough tail sticking out back here, and it works its way through, works its way out. Anyway, so this is going to be a PSA on how not to do things in the kitchen. So my husband's birthday was Sunday, which was, this is Tuesday, technically now. I'm really going to try not to bump the camera, guys. I'm sorry. And this is not like a milestone birthday for him or whatnot. He's 47 now. And I don't know. I just wanted to try and he's been working so hard for so long, and I just wanted to make it a little bit special for him. So rather than like, and I made him pick dinner. You know, and I was like, it's not allowed to be anything easy or cheap. I was like, pick something you want to eat that I can make. And he decided on pork loin, you know, that we cut down into pork chops, and potatoes au gratin, and something else, broccoli or green beans or something. And I was like, I am not, and you guys probably can't really even see what I'm doing. Let me zoom in a little bit. When I do Stitch with Maze, I am used to having something in the stand, so I'm sorry if it's nauseating trying to watch me stitch like this. So anyways, green beans or broccoli or whatever. I was like, all right, I can do that. I can handle that. He did have to cut the pork chops, but that's just because he's way better at meat than I am. And so I make a marinade the night before. Like, I plan everything out as far as like, okay, if they're going to taste really yummy, they need to actually marinate and not just like, you know, pour it on and cook them. And I'm sorry if I do repeat myself. My pain is pretty high, and it's going to hurt whether or not I stitch. So, gosh darn it, I'm still going to stitch. I don't know. This focus is probably like going in and out and everything else. Anyways, hopefully you're not watching this and you're just stitching with me. So I didn't want to do potatoes au gratin out of a box like we usually do. I wanted him to have a genuinely like scratch made homemade meal. So I bought potatoes, and I bought cheese, and I bought heavy whipping cream. And then I realized I don't have a way to slice these potatoes. So I bought a mandolin, which is basically, if you're not familiar with what that is, it's basically a non-electric slicer. And I've worked with them before. I've owned one before. And, sorry. You know, so I didn't really think anything of it. And I told my husband about it that the next day. I was like, hey, I invested it, because those suckers are not cheap. So I invested in a kitchen gadget. And he was like, oh, yeah, what's that? I said, oh, I got us a mandolin. He said, you did what? You be careful with that. I've worked with these before. I know what I'm doing, she said confidently. And so check on my meat the next day. It's looking gorgeous. I made a bourbon glaze for it. Had bourbon and soy sauce and Worcestershire, and I added some garlic and parsley, and they were looking fantastic. I get my potatoes out, and I'm scrubbing them down, and I pull out this brand new shiny slicer, and I read the instructions, and I set it up. I'm excited because it has blades that it has the settings where you can adjust the thickness of the cut, everything. The recipe I was using called for, I gotta look at this closer. Oh my god. 1, 2, 3, okay. called for 1/8 inch slices of potato. So sweet, it has that setting on there. Look at me go. And I start slicing and everything is good until a potato falls over. Dang it. I stand it back up and I start slicing and the potato falls over. Dang it. Just wasn't quite fitting properly. And I thought, you know what? I bet I could slice this potato down and still keep my hot little fingers far enough away from the blade that when it stands up properly in the guard, I can put the guard on then. When I successfully get through the first potato, confidence grows, and I start slicing the second potato. And I got about halfway through the potato, and on the next slice, I went, oh shit, that was not potato, that was my finger. I grabbed my finger and I put pressure on it. And I went, oh, that feels like it's going to be kind of bad. So I quickly look at it and I quickly put my hand back on it and I went, oh. And then I go, that was not good. Both in the wound that I just caused and the fact that I passed out at the sight of blood. And I go, okay, I have about 30 seconds to a minute before I start feeling this. I go, okay, I want to get the potato juice out of my finger. So I turn the kitchen sink on. I run it under water quickly. Holy hell, that burned. Okay. Clap my hand back over it, turn the water off, grab a paper towel, a couple of them. Because I'm like, okay, I need to put pressure on this and contain it. And so I lift up my finger off of the wound long enough for me to really ascertain the fact that I am now missing the tip of my finger. And that 30 seconds to a minute is just about up. And I go, oh crap, okay. Well, I need to get in the bathroom because that's where the first aid stuff is. And that's not, my bedroom's right next to the dining room, so it's not much of a walk in there. And I sit down on the edge of the tub, and then the blackness starts. And I go, oh, okay, I'm by myself, and I don't know how bad this actually is as far as the bleeding goes. I'm not dripping anywhere. But man, do I have a death grip on my fingers, so I know the pressure is good. I was like, I can't pass out. I'll lose pressure. Nobody knows I've cut myself. John's out hunting. That's my husband. The middle son is in the shower. I hear the shower going. Nobody else is in the house besides my 6-year-old son, who, he's downstairs playing video games. So I spend the next 5 to 10 minutes, at least that's how long it felt like. It very well could not have been that long. Trying not to pass out. I slid from the side of the bathtub down to the floor so that I didn't fall backwards into the tub and knock myself out. Yeah, but the struggle to, I was doing deep breathing exercises and battling the blood flowing in my ears and the blackness around my eyes and just the head bobbling and just fighting to stay conscious. I get past it long enough I had my phone with me, luckily. And I did the whole hold pressure and use these fingers to do my, what I needed to with my phone. Got my phone out, called my son because I heard the shower go off. Get your butt in the bathroom, my bathroom right now. Mom, I just got out of the shower. Now I cut myself really bad. He comes in a towel. Go put. Oh, that hurts. Oh, I'm stuck. Look, it's in my tape. Oh. There we go. Stay on there. Go put underwear on. I need you to help me keep pressure on this. What did you do? Just go put underwear on. I came back wearing pants. So I had him grab my finger, which hurt like the dickens, so that for one, my hand was cramping by this point, as far as the pressure goes. So I then called my dad, who was an EMT firefighter for forever when I was a kid. And I go, Dad, I screwed up. What'd you do? I'm pretty sure I cut the tip of my finger off, like not a little bit. I said, what can I do for first aid for no skin left? And he was like, grab some ice to help stop the blood flow. And he's like, you're gonna have to gauze it. And he's like, as long as you can control the bleeding, you need to put a Neosporin on it for infection and yada yada. I can see how many. 1, 2, 3, 4 of these. And he walked me through it. I don't remember real clear exactly the conversation, but I said, okay, well, let me call John. Or did I call him before? No, I called John. I called John first, actually. It's all a little blurry. I did call it because I called him first to get him started down to the house. I said, I need you. I cut myself really bad. I'm sorry. You're gonna have to come back to the house. And he's like, oh, I walked. It'll be a few minutes. I'll be there as soon as I can. And then I called my son. And then I called my father. Yes, that's how that happened. Okay. So, Valera, you say, why didn't you just call 911? Which in the US is the emergency line. Or, and my husband gets in and he's like, all right, let me see. And he goes, that's bad. I said, it felt bad. And if you have seen my last few videos, I did briefly talk about that my husband just started a new job. And unfortunately, we do not have health insurance until March when it kicks in at his new job. So I am like panicking because if you have heard or know anything about healthcare in the US, you will go bankrupt if you don't have health insurance or if you have really crappy health insurance. I mean, it's ridiculous. Thousands and thousands of dollars to be treated for, anything, really. So I'm just sitting here. I'm like, this is so stupid. How could I have been so stupid? You guys, I am the poster child for what not to do. Do not ignore safety protocols, especially with one of those contraptions. Because they're not kidding, man. Those suckers will take your finger off in a heartbeat. And, and part of the conversation with my dad was, and he was like, look, if you can control the bleeding, get the bleeding to stop, he's like, they're not going to be able to do anything really in the emergency room. There's nothing to sew back on. And it's just, he's like, you'll just have a flat spot while it heals. You'll be okay, but make sure that bleeding gets stopped and, keep an eye on for infection and everything. I said, okay. And I didn't realize this, but John's father was also an EMT, former. So he called his dad to come up and take a look at it. And, yeah, you took a chunk out of yourself, but I wouldn't say you need to go to the emergency room. Just have him wrap it up. He's treated stuff like this before. I said, okay. Yeah, if you've heard rumors about people taking Ubers to hospitals because ambulance rides are too expensive, that is absolutely true. We don't have health care in the U.S. We have sick care. sometimes not that great at that. Anyway, I digress. Oop, I didn't want to take that one out. So, yeah. I cannot change the bandages myself because I can't look at it. And y'all, I thought the first day was bad. Today was even worse when the friggin' gauze stuck to it. So, if you follow Jen, the caffeinated crafter, as well as me, for any length of time, you may remember that she is a wound care nurse at a plastic surgeon's office. So I'm messaging her. I'm like, I screwed up. What do I do? And my husband sent her pictures, and she's like, dude. She's like, and she told me tonight, she's like, yeah, that would be something that my surgeon would actually fix or try to fix. You cut part, like, what? But the gauze stuck to it. I have not made sounds like that since I gave childbirth. It gave birth to my children without medicine. I have not cried like that from trauma, from hurt, since my car accident back in 1999. I had to soak it off. It was so bad. I'm like, okay, how do I fix this? Because we use nonstick gauze. Lies. So much lies. I asked Jen, I was like, what can I do to make this not happen again? She's like, and she sent me a link to some stuff, and we found Walmart around here has it, but they were closed already, so he has to get it in the morning. I'm like, we're changing this in the morning. I am not doing this again. I would rather lose my finger and do it again. No, I wouldn't. Not really. Being facetious. But I had my husband draw on my other pinky for visual reference what I'm missing off of my right pinky finger. You ready? That is what I chopped off of my finger on my other. Yes, part of the nail is gone. I am lucky that I did not hit an artery. There were no squirty squirts. And I am kind of lucky that it hit this way. Because if I had hit this way, it would have hit the bone. Do not ditch the guard. Don't do it. It's not worth it. Cut the damn potato in half. Which I did not think of. Because apparently all sense left my head that day. 19 days in, guys. 19 days in. That's how many days into the new year I went without a disaster of some sort. Totally my fault. Absolutely 1000% my fault. Cannot blame anything but myself. Nobody, nothing. The universe did not do this to me. I did this to me. Okay. So that's how my week is going. It's actually the pain. I'm not 100% sure if the pain was from like exposure to the air and, my little meat stick that I have right now, or if it's because like when the gauze, I soaked the gauze off, and when it popped off, of course I didn't rip it off, but those nerves are not exactly happy with me right now. So hopefully having it out in the air tomorrow when we change it is not gonna, because man, I'm telling you what, it's friggin' trauma to go through every single time. Y'all, don't be like me, okay? Just don't do it. It's not worth it. It is not worth the perceived time savings you think you're going to have. Think of a different option. How do I do this? I'm going to count over the next section when we put this thread back on these needle. But when the wound care nurse tells you it's pretty friggin' bad, it's pretty friggin' bad. All right, hold on. Okay, that was a lot of concentration to get over to where I needed to get. So that's going to take a really long time to heal, because there's nothing for, it has to completely regrow all the skin and muscle. Well, there's no muscle there, but all the skin that was there, it has to completely regrow that. And that's going to take some time. I'm supposed to go to Florida for a camping trip at the end of February. And I am hoping I am healed up enough at that point to not have to worry too much about it. Because, Florida's sandy, and that's, I don't know, Jen, how do you do that? People have to worry about sand in their wounds where you're at. But, yeah, like I said, the stitching in hand at the moment is a little easier because when I got it in the lowry, I have to get it way up here to get it out of the way, and that strains it quite a bit and fatigues my hand. So it's going to be slow going for a little while. Monopoly might have to go over 2 weeks for the next, however long, which is okay. It's fine. I mean, the stitch counts are going to get high. Oops, I'm not even on camera. Sorry. The stitch counts are going to start going up anyways as we go. So I anticipate that, if I don't make some major adjustments to like knocking off, going from 1,000 down to 100 or whatever, that it's going to, yeah. Anyway, I don't know that I like the sewing method and how that makes my stitches look. Just do stab and poke. It's okay. I did get some snag nabbits, so I don't know if you can see that little fuzzy guy that came up from the ends. I'll poke him back down later if this right here doesn't get it. Let's see, was there anything else out of my little gruesome side quests that I did that I want to tell you about? Not really. So I will end this little stitch with me interlude and finish off my stitches either tonight or tomorrow. I should probably tomorrow because my Tylenol window is starting to open. Get some sleep and come back and show you where I get with this tomorrow. I probably won't start on the black work until the iris is done. So that'll be a while. 270 stitches is the goal for this one, to purchase whatever property. I think it was a purchase of a property. No, maybe. I don't know. Whatever happened. So yeah, I'll be back in a second for you to show you what this looks like after 270 stitches plus whatever finishes the thread. Okay, it took me a couple of days, but I ended up at 337 stitches. Tomorrow is Wednesday, so filming day. I might get one temperature stitch in. So I'm trying to think if there's really anything else to say about this. Not really. My finger hurts. So yeah, 337. Got some stitches in on the leaves and it'll go away for now. Okay, so we're going to work. I'm going to work on Veil Nebula. This is the supersize max color version. I decided to just pick the temperature that it was as soon as I decided that I was going to do a temperature stitch, and that was -2 Fahrenheit, so it's just a little chilly. My friends in the south are getting absolutely dumped on with snow. And let's see, this piece has 240 colors. It is 999 by 666. It is a NASA image. and it is being stitched on 28 count fabric, 1/1 full cross. And so far we have 16,687 stitches out of 665,334 for 2.51%. Let me zoom out and I'll show you kind of, get that light out of the way. That's where it currently is. You know, of course, I've got the hoop right here, so I will probably just work on filling in 310 at the moment, and see how far down on my little chunk there that I get. Okay, here we are, 365 stitches later. It is all 310 that I did. That brings us to 17,052 stitches for 2.56%. I am noticing a little bit of line right here, but I don't know, like, it's not a stitch line. Maybe, hopefully, because I mean, obviously this is a pretty harsh, and I have started feathering here. I don't know if it's an optical illusion from a dye lot issue, because I could have swore I switched over my cone of doom here, or if it's just an optical illusion for the holes that are left for the, I think that's mostly 939 that's going to be in there. So hopefully once it starts getting filled in, it'll be a lot better. So yeah, I did end up in the Lowry stand. It is relatively more comfortable to hold a project right now, but with all the fabric, the weight was going to pull too much on this bandage. So I went ahead and did it in the hoop. So my finger's throbbing a little bit. So I'm definitely done for the day. I'm going to go get some sleep. And recording days tomorrow, but I think what you guys will see next is what, round of Monopoly? Yeah, we're ready for the round of Monopoly. Now I did pre-record, which I think I might have mentioned at some point, but then I realized I was missing dice, so I think I might delete that and re-record. No. Yes. I don't know what I want to do yet. If I want to kind of keep it, you know what? No, I think I will keep it a little simpler with how I had it with the pre-recorded, with the way my finger is. And then hopefully in another week, my finger will not be quite, it won't be quite as raw. And then I will introduce the die singular that I was missing from the rolls, and we will implement like I said, the rules are really complicated, and oh shoot, I forget the name of my commenter who pointed it out to me. I'm so sorry. That the doubles need to be rolled with all of the dice, not just the two. You figure your doubles off of the two regular ones, but you actually roll all three, or actually 4 dice when you keep rolling for doubles. So anyway, so whichever, if I'm wearing black sleeves, you're going to get the simplified version. So, all right, see you in a second. Okay, y'all, I knew this. I knew there was going to eventually be some, hold on, I got to look at the 50 pages of rules in the 3 separate rule books. Okay, so the investment die that this one is referring to is here. You don't actually have an investment space until the second board. So what we're going to do right now, my investment is 0. We're going to roll these two, and if it has a particular percent of 0, obviously it stays 0. If it has a particular, if it lands on one of the dollar amounts and doesn't go down, I'll stitch and I'll have an investment. That's the best I can interpret that. Okay, 15% of 0 is 0, so we are doing nothing. I'm okay with that for now. Clear as mud? That's okay. I'm confused too. Because I was like, well, we have stock exchange over here in this corner, which you can't see at the moment. And I'm like, but I don't think that was the same. It's not. Whew. Okay, does anybody remember if I actually rolled for the bonus move? I know I didn't, because I was going to grab another travel voucher. Why not? Phew. That was a little crazy. All right, so travel voucher for fare, for cab fare. Move back 3 spaces, can be combined, keep until needed. Play instead of rolling. Okay. That goes there. I'm all discombobulated and I have to figure out my clips now. But like I said, I am glad that I decided to do several in a row, or I would not have caught that. Okay, fire here is going to move. Nine and a bonus move. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. All right, London Bridge says, as you pass, so I might not actually be here. As you pass, cross on rolls of 9 or more, which means you cross to the other board. Stay on rolls of 7 or less. Choose on rolls of exactly 8. So, what did I get? I got 9. So I get to cross to the other side. So here we go. That's where I'll end up. So I didn't think this part through very well. Okay, so I'm assuming that I'm going to cross and then finish my roll. I gotta pause again. Okay, yes. So I cross here and continue my movement on the second board. So it was just one more. I'm just going to show you real quick. On this one, we are going to land on Rua Antonio Saldana. Yeah, it's time to start butchering names for 370. I will place a pip on that one. Monopoly Mayhem is starting to live up to its name, folks. I have a bonus move, and I think Fire is going to go ahead and choose a voucher as well, just to sort of... Oh, Nikes. Oh, no, okay. Advance to any space on your current track. Keep until needed. So I will just put that in the repertoire. Okay, Earth, Air, Fire, Water. Water's here. Okay. Are we confused yet? Because I am. All right, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Ventnor for 260. Okay, and that was just straight move. That's good. Magic is next. another straight move of 10. So let me stack these die. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Ooh, waterworks. Okay. First utility. Right? Yeah. Waterworks. 150. And last but not least, we have Chaos. Boy, I tell you what, Chaos came into the mix and really started shaking things up. All right, 6, 8. Go ahead and turn this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And a shady business card. Okay. Oh, payment due, stitch all pending court fees for all tokens. I don't have any. Oh, yes, I do, don't I? I feel like somebody has court fees. Somebody added court fees somewhere. I'm pretty sure there are court fees. So I will consult my spreadsheet. Pending court fees. That's actually kind of exciting because that means that's going to be a piece that gets more stitches, right? Based on, no, because I haven't actually stitched court fees yet, but I added to someone's court fees. Okay, pending court fees. So we'll figure out what that is. I need to figure out how to do. I will put it face up underneath. That will be the start of our discard. So once I get through a stack of cards, we'll see that first card facing up, and then I'll know to. Oh crap, that's not going to work because they both look the same. Okay, I will have to make a discard box. I'll figure that out later. Okay. So that is the end of round 4. I know this is me in the past, but that's where I'm going to stop. So I'm only doing one ahead because that got a little crazy. I feel like there was a point to it though with that one space that I missed. And we'll call that fortuitous and leave it at that. All right, let's see what this week's stitching is looking like. Okay, welcome to Monopoly round 4. Let's see. We have kind of a spread here. We got air flying way off over there into the sunset. So here we go. Without further ado, we are starting with Earth as usual here. Okay, and we have 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. South Carolina Avenue for $3.20. Okay. Air is next, and I'm not going to rotate the board simply because you can see everything that has the potential to hit at this point. So we'll go from there. I still don't have a tumbler because I don't know if anybody notices my black sleeves. This is actually, I'm pre-recording this simply because I have the extra time today, and it is kind of a bit to get everything out onto our work table. So I'm not going to play ahead I'm just going to plot out and get ready for next round. Oh, got a bonus move here, and 8 for air to fly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. So we have 2 things to do here. 3 things. Okay, air is on a roll, I'm telling you what. So let's go ahead and record Pont Verde Vedra Boulevard. Probably butchered that, I'm sure. Vedra Boulevard 600. Roll the investment dice as you pass. I may have to stop and double check my rules because I am not sure if this is the investment dice, which I know makes the investments go up and down, or if this is the investment dice as far as what I'm investing. I don't know. I have to go look. I'll be right back. Okay, it's both of these die. So there's a separate investment space that I haven't been able to find. Which did I pass it? Okay, hang on. Okay, I'm actually really glad that I stopped to film a couple of rounds in a row, because now I need to, oh, well, yeah.
Okay, so as you can see, the if you were watching the clip, which if you don't, that's fine, I did have to make an adjustment because of that 1 space difference from the last time for water. So it wasn't actually Ventnor, it was California. There was just a 20 stitch difference, so it's going to be 280 stitches instead of the 260. Sorry, my Flosstube bitchy nose. I knew I forgot to say something. I don't know where I'm going to insert this, but I do want to reiterate that if you are playing along by stitches per token, I will put those in the description box as usual, just in case you're deciding to just jump in, excuse me, and play along for this video. All of those totals will be listed in the description box for you. Okay, I think that was it. All the patterns that got landed on are paper patterns. So I'm really hoping to get some temperature stitching in, because pretty much all of those are PK. But it's like 2,200 stitches. So, I mean, which, you know, I've been getting well over that, but Mr. Pinky here. My own stupid fault. Please heed the PSA if you watch the Stitch With Me section. Let's see. Also, huge shout out to Jen for helping me through and giving me tips on how to take care of this. My husband knows what he's doing, but he's not a nurse. Anywho, all right, so on to what we are going to be working on. No haul this week. That's okay. I don't need to spend a ton of money. So this is a kit by Leisure Arts. Artwork is by Zephyr Moon. This is just simply called Galaxy. Just something simple. Picked it up at Walmart. I picked it up for my trip to Japan a couple of years ago. And that's where we're starting from. I don't know where I'll be working. The chart, I do have a working copy, but it is kind of hard to follow. The symbols are kind of just mushed together. So not a huge fan of how that was charted, but it's okay. And that one's supposed to get 320, so that'll be a nice chunk done on that. Because, you know, it's not big, it's just a little thing. I don't know where to put this stuff. Let's just toss it on the floor. This one is going to get 600. It's a new start. And this is Celtic Winter by Lavender and Lace. Artwork is by, or the design is Marilyn Levitt Emblem. That's not going to be the colorway that I'm doing. I might have to dig that out and see. Sorry, that was my stepson not realizing I was recording. I'll see if I can find the conversion and stick that over that. So I'm not, I don't want to say I'm not thrilled to be working on this, because I am looking forward to working on these. But I found I really like working on them on scroll frames, and I don't have any more scroll frames. So she's just going to have to, I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to be working in hand, because sometimes that does feel a little bit more comfortable, as I've been babbling about, and you've already heard me talk about a couple of times. Anywho, I'm going to be stitching this on 28 count Lugana Silent Night by Die Stitch Love. It's really beautiful sparkly fabric. I think all of my Celtic ladies are on opalescent fabric. Pretty sure. Have all my stuffs. Hmm. 600 stitches, I think is what I said for that, right? I feel like I look like Duff warmed over today. All right, next up is going to be Southwest Still Life. This is it's going to get 370 at least, hopefully. Sunset, Division of Dimensions. It's an older kit, 1992. So, but I do like, it's never even been opened, y'all. So I've got to sort the floss, because that's going to be fun. Yeah, it does, oh good, it does have a floss organizer, at least. But, uh-oh, I gotta sneeze. Ha, caught it. Yeah, it looks like it's, what, 14 count Ivory Ada. I'll just use all the kit stuff. Yeah. Okay. And then we have, this will be my first ink circles stitch. Called The Birds and the Bees. Isn't that beautiful? I really like quite a few of their designs. The Sumatra series has a bunch of them that I would love to stitch, but I think I have enough at the moment. I have enough to keep me occupied for a while. I am going to be stitching this on 20, the Celtic Lady on 28 count. She's going to be stitched over 2, and I'll be using 2 strands of floss for that one. This one is also going to be stitched 28 count. I have to double check though and make sure I'm actually doing it over 2. I would assume that was my plan, but I don't know. I did not make that note, unfortunately. And did I say Lilith? And I'm going to be doing it on, I have a note here that says purple half. I'm assuming this is the half. Oh, I haven't serged this either. I need to serge the edge of that. So yeah, I'll measure it and double check and see if it's going to be 28 count over 2 or 1. And I'm going to be using threads from Bryn and Needle. They are a Canadian company, and I love their floss. This is a 25 gram Hank Borg hunting. And then a bunch of the April 2023 flosses. I'll just kind of sprinkle them in. wherever it seems. Nope, one more. Whatever seems I deem. Wherever I want to put them. That's what I want to say. So, that one's supposed to get 280 to start with. So, let's see how far that gets me with a non-full coverage. And this next one I'm also very excited to start. This is a kit by Riolis called The Underwater Kingdom. I saw this stitched up on Instagram and just absolutely fell in love with it. I had a lovely no, I don't think I don't know if she watches my channel or not, but I think it was on Facebook where she was wanting to get rid of this, and I traded some a bag, I can't remember. I traded bags with her. This is going to be 14 count white Ada, and this is their wool acrylic blend with some anchor as well. So, and they come on these. I've not done a Riolis kit before. They come on these cards, and yeah, it's the Ada. Looks like it's a color chart. I'm of two minds when it comes to color charts. Oops, bye. Sometimes they're hard to, well, I can't really copy it, because I don't have a color printer. So a lot of times if you try to copy a color printout, you can't really see what it is. And I don't know that I want to mark off the original chart. I might do it old school and try not to mess it up. And that one is going to get a minimum of 150. So we'll see. That's not a whole lot. This next one is supposed to get 500. This is Country Cottage. This is an old China kit that I got off of eBay forever ago. And I think I just call it Country Cottage, right? I have one that's I call Country Cabin, and this one's, yeah, Country Cottage. So, and it's on also 14 count Ada. And it's weird, the extra floss is packed in these. And there's the monster, as Jade likes to call it. What did I do? I have gone through and like chopped up the pattern because it was on like one big giant sheet, and I went ahead and just chopped it all up by pages. So I will probably measure it out and start in the upper left-hand corner on page 1. So that one's also in color, and it's kind of shiny, so I don't know how easy that's going to be to mark off. So this will be an interesting week with all these paper patterns. I will probably make written copies of the ones that I can. Go from there. Did not have any haul this week. I think I said that. I feel like I'm starting to repeat myself a little bit when it comes to, like, did I say that? Did I make a note of it? Whatever, it's fine. I'm trying to think. I mean, this is a fairly long video, so I'm not feeling like I need to chitter chatter and keep it longer or anything, but I do feel like I'm forgetting something. My notes say I didn't forget anything, but you know how it is. So yeah, thank you so much for joining me today. There are so many great content creators, and I really appreciate taking the time to spend time with me. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you next week. Assuming I don't have any other disasters. I made it 19 whole days, guys. 19 days into the year. Totally my fault. Alrighty, guys. Take care, and I will see you next week. Bye.